So here's the big question. Would you lose $500 to make 5,000? Would you lose $500 to make 5,000? Now that's the question. Now, why is that the big question of the day? Because we've had some things happen over in the ad space that are absolutely crushing, and I mean crushing some big spenders. Here's what's happening. Some of the big spenders out there that were spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to rank first, they're getting crushed now because Facebook did a thing. Their update, Andromeda, is different. Andromeda is basically saying, hey, we are going to put in front of potential consumers the best ad creative. We don't care what you spend. Now, that's what they're saying right now. So we now, the small guy, small girl, we have an opportunity to go out there and get our stuff in front of and better than the big spenders. I'm telling you, this is way past game changer. Y'all got to forgive me. I'm making bank in my bathrobe today. So, you know, here it is, right? It's night, it's late. I'm kind of like chilling. All right. Making bank in your bathrobe. I teach this stuff because it's so much fun. But this is what I want to share with you today is if you will spend $500, 500 bucks, this is the question, will you do it to make 5,000? Now, is that a guarantee? Of course not. But now we have the chance with what Facebook has done with Andromeda to do it. They're putting stuff in front. I mean, they're big. I've been listening all over the internet and they are enraged. People spending, like I say, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get their stuff in front of folks. And then you got, you know, some of the little spenders, let's just put it like that. The little spenders that are we're getting our stuff in front of them. So I'm going to explore a couple of things with you, and we're going to go over some stuff that shows that you can now get out there and make a difference out here. But first, we got to ask ourselves, a really interesting question. Are you going to spend that money or not? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Are you willing to spend that kind of dough? Or are you just going to go, nah, I'm good, right? That's what you really got to think about. Oh, I'm good. We got to get out there, start spending. Here's what I typically do. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to show you a couple of things a little bit later, a couple of the places that I have spent on and it didn't work. I'm still frustrated about it, but it did not work at all. And I am not happy when I spend money and it don't work. You feel me? So let's look at this real quick. Now, here's what we got. Are you willing to do it? That becomes the question. Willing to do it or not? 500 bucks to make potentially 5,000. Now, before I get all the naysayers out there going, oh my gosh, I wouldn't do it. You want to bet? You already have. Did you go to college? I spent 50,000. Just saying. So we ask ourselves a question now, and this is what I'm getting at is, I'm the monetize your life guy, right? I'm trying to show you ways to monetize your life. This is what I do on this channel all day, every day. I come on these lives every day and I say, here's another way. All last month, what it was, creating digital products so we can put those digital products out there so those digital products could potentially make us money. Now, when I talk about running ads, it is running ads to those digital products, our books, our courses, even though courses are starting to, take a hit, not when I show you some of these other things I'm going to be doing with courses. Oh my gosh, if you're making them interactive, you're still good. If you're just got, here's 88 modules, I'm not coming to that. Nobody else is either. But these micro courses, these impactful courses, these courses that make sure people do it, the course that you even sometimes show up and you come in and go, how you doing? You have tests, you have confetti. I'm sorry, but that's what we got to do now. But when we go out there and we're testing our ideas, here's the big deal. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to see if we can spend a little to get a lot. That's the metaphor here. Can we spend a little to get a lot? It isn't even the question that we're asking is not even about the ad and what Andromeda doing, what Facebook's doing, all the time that they're changing their algorithm. They just want to make money. And if making money means they get you in because you now have a shot, I'm down with that, because you know how it is. We kind of go out there and go, man, I'm not going to make any money. I'm not going to make any money because the bigs got it, right? And who are the bigs? Well, the ones that are spending a lot of money. And if we say that kind of stuff, then we're just losing right out the gate. But here it is. We're asking this question right here. Will it work? Everybody asks that question. Hey, before I spend some money, I got to know that it'll work. No, you don't. Sometimes we go to college, we spend a whole bunch of money, and guess what? We might not even be doing the job that we got our degrees in. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, then let's continue. The real question is this an experiment we can afford to make? If I spend $5 and I get $5,000 back, is that an experiment that I'm willing to make? And I guarantee you, we're just a month away from Christmas. Did you spend $500 on Christmas gifts? Some of those gifts that people sent back already? I'm just saying. And you're not willing to spend $500 to see if you can make $5,000. Now, again, y'all know what I say. Results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. This is for educational purposes only. I got to say that. I'm not giving you financial advice, but I am showing you some things that we as people that are out there putting out digital products, that are out there putting out books. Can you run ads to books? You bet you can. You run an ad to your book with the landing page on it, and that book gets you into other stuff. That's the key. One of my clients right now has a book, and I'm working with him to now take his book and do so many different things with it. That's how you do it. But if you never write it, if you never put your digital product out there, you never do anything, you never create your digital real estate, your potential assets. These are assets, everybody. And you're telling me that you're not willing to? Yes, you are. I know you are. And before the end of this, you definitely will be, right? So listen, I haven't run the ads yet. No screenshots, no fake. I'm not running the ads, not in this particular way, because I'm always, kind of leery of Facebook. They've slapped my hands a couple of times, and I've been in Facebook jail and all that kind of stuff, right? It's like, you can't run those kind of ads. So, and then I see those kind of ads being ran other places, and I'm going, wait a minute. So I had always been leery. I had been trying other things. I teach other things, other areas. Now I'm ready to go back to Facebook, because now it seems like the little guy and the little girl, I don't know why I'm pointing at myself, but the little guy has a shot. And this is why you got the bigs just out there complaining, all right? Our stuff is getting in front of their clients. That's key. All right, so here it is. I'm not going to give you no fake proof and all that stuff. No borrowed wins. I'm not going to do that. I don't play that kind of mess, right? What I do have is a framework. I'm going to tell you what I should do, right? Look at this. Why most people lose 500? They're acting like it was a slot machine. I've been there. It's like, just throw it in. It's real easy. Just hit the credit card, grab. Go ahead and get it. And I'm going to show you something I did recently, and it was just crazy, man. I spent some money and I got nothing back. All right. So they're boosting posts randomly. Your guy went fishing this summer, caught a big fish, ran an ad, and boosted it. What am I doing? I don't know. I guess playing. Didn't give me no new Facebook, whatever. No hypothesis. We're just guessing blindly sometimes. No learning goal. This is the key. We don't lose. We win or we learn. Are y'all down with that? We win or we learn. Okay. No cutoffs. When you run your ads, you better have a cutoff. I made that mistake once, and boy, did it run. The only thing that saved me is the credit card. It ran out. If it hadn't been for that, that thing probably would still been running. I would have never knew. All right, the $500 to $5,000 thought experiment. This is what I want you to consider. If this were a smart bet, what would have to be true? Now, this is how I approach it. What would you do? What would you do to make this bet? Now we made a bet on our education, right? We went to school, we spent a couple of bucks. I don't care if you went to trade school. I don't care if you went to the community college. I went to the Grampus Community College, graduated like twice. And they finally says, hey man, you got a lot of credits. You might want to get out of here. Right? Then I transferred, or transferred my credits out. I started at Grand Valley. Then I went over to all kind of, I went to like 4 different colleges. I finally graduated. Then I ended up with a master's degree. All right, here it is. The only job of the first 500 is to not necessarily profit. This is going to hurt. We spend more than that on junk. Trust me. Now, what I'm encouraging you to do is get the signal. Can I spend $500? Now, when I build something, I create a landing page and I put something on it and I think it's a good idea. I've done my research. Y'all seen how I do this stuff. Now I put money after it because I need to find out if it will work fast. And this is the reason we will put money after it sometimes. We need to find out if it will work fast. If I can spend 500 to save me a lot more. That's why I don't do websites. I do landing pages. We create those landing pages so that we can get our stuff out there and we can start checking out and seeing if that dang thing works. Right? This is it. We want message resonance. Does it connect? Do we have the right hook? Did we do it right? The cost. What is the cost of the attention we just got? And we start saying, okay, I got attention. Did I get conversions? And then what is the action rate? How many people clicked on it? Now, there's all kinds of stuff. You can use a tool like Hotjar to see what people do on your site. That's key. Hotjar will tell you they're clicking over here, they're clicking over here, they're clicking down there, they're clicking over here. That's good. We want that. But we now put some money after it. What does $500 buy? Maybe not a lot. 10,000 impressions. I don't get all upset or all hot about that. 10,000 impressions is nothing. I want income. So impressions mean nothing. When somebody starts saying, hey, I can get you all these impressions, and you just go, yeah, what's the conversion rate from impression to income? So hopefully what I'm saying now is putting you up on game. And I hear people all the time that says, yeah, I got a team and they're running that. I says, well, ask them these 5 questions. And one of them is, what's my impression to income or conversion rate? Okay, now 200 clicks, you're going to get a range. Typically, depending on where you're putting it, you will get a range. Maybe you get 200 clicks. The question is, what are they clicking on? If they're clicking on something that gets you to the sale, now you succeed, right? 50 actions, conversation started. You got to look at them like that. Did I do something that got me a certain kind of success? I'll give an example. So I had this coaching client, and she was in the education space. And so she put together all of her stuff and, little flyers and all that stuff. And she's out there, and she's saying, Randy, I'm not getting any clicks. Well, she was getting clicks, but it was just low. Now, what I asked is, well, if you got one from that, what would that package sell for? In other words, would it have been worth it? So we got to be careful of what we're looking at and what are we determining as our success. In this case, we're looking for the information. Can we spend $500 to get the information to know what to say next to get to potentially the $5,000? That's what we got to look at. That's why I'm asking this question. Are you willing? I know you are, because some of you went to college and you put all that money in and now you might be laid off. And I'm telling you, that ain't no fun. All right, I've been laid off. I know how it is. So here's the decision filter. Is what I want you thinking about. I only spend $500 if I can answer these. What single action do I want? Boom, put it down. What do I expect? Okay. 2, what would promising look like? In other words, what would give me enough to continue? Oh, I see people went to my website and then I'm able to see that they were clicking here, clicking there. I saw that they were looking at the image longer. Maybe I needed to make the image clickable. I see that they were clicking on the image, little things like that. And then when do I shut it off? Know when to say, this ain't working. So create a criteria for yourself. If you say, I spent $500 and after $500, I have not had one conversion, Yeah, I'm not. I'm saying bye-bye. Now, I'm not even talking about the ability spending $500 getting people on site, because once we get them on site, we now have the ability to retarget them. Now I'm kind of going in a little bit, and you may or may not be at this level of thinking or whatever. Hear it one time. The second time you hear it, okay, that's the second time. Third time you hear it, you go, wait a minute, I think I'm on to something here because I've heard this 3 times. So I say this because as a business owner, or even if I don't care if you're a entrepreneur, I want to do this. I want to show you, here's the roadmap. Here's some things to consider. Now do these things. And I talk about that every single night. I'm doing something different. Now the uh, I left the gift, and these flip books are gifts. I leave these typically on Facebook. I send them to a couple of groups, and I says, here's the gift that I left from the night before. So I'll do the same thing with this one. All right, now here it is. Hypothesis. We form a hypothesis. Man, I'm telling you, I love that word. In other words, a guess. As a business owner, this is what we're doing. We're guessing sometimes. We say, well, it shows that it should work, but I don't know if the market is tired. I don't know if the market, knows me, trusts me, likes me, whatever. So I need to do what I need to do. So it's like, if I put this message, can I message it right? Can I say the right things? And if I put it in front of the right person. So I use an example in I was in a class today, or a workshop today, and I use this example. I says, if after the bar, watch this. If after the bar, you had a food truck, let's say, and your food truck, after the bar now, your food truck was outside of the bar, is it possible that you're going to make money? I'm just saying. Answer that for me. Is it possible that you're going to make money? Changing some stuff around here, y'all. So everybody that says yes, I would probably make some money, then I'm going to say that you are correct. All right. I need to do a couple things here. Hold on a second. Can y'all see that? All right, there it is. So I'm going to say that yes, you are correct. More than likely, you're going to make a bag. Why? Because you put it in front of the right people. This is one of the key things. Right person? Did I put it at the right time? Now, let's say they just came out of a restaurant. They just came out of a restaurant where they're full. So I didn't put my food truck or my food in front of them at the right time. No. And then will they take this action? Do they want it? Maybe they're keto like me. Maybe they are fasting. Maybe they fast. So we got to consider all of these things. But this is the conversation that we're constantly having with ourselves before we put all this stuff out there, right? Now, I'm going to be showing y'all something here in a minute that I do. And I created a user-generated ad, right? That's what the UGC, user-generated content. In other words, let me get this out of the way real quick. So user-generated content. This is where somebody else is doing your stuff for you. So now I took it a little step further. I got a user-generated content and an avatar. I'm going to be showing you that. This is why I'm going to be starting using my ad dollars to create user-generated content. I'm going to show you that here in a second, as soon as I pull it up. All right. Now, user-generated content is a whole different beast. But the point is that sometimes people don't want to see you, and you may not want to be on screen. I'm just saying, right? I'm trying to look believable. People that do this stuff, not necessarily influencers and all that, not necessarily some actor that costs you a mint, not necessarily polished. I'm serious. It doesn't always have to be polished. It just has to be somebody that's real, somebody that's about that life, somebody that, we have determined is going to go out there. Now, we're seeing a lot of AI ads, and you look at those AI ads and you say to yourself, I believe her, I believe him, or I don't care. Sometimes I don't care. All right, so let's look at this. This is why it is the perfect $500 test. Cheap. We can produce these things. I literally created 2 ads, and it took me maybe 20 minutes. Wait, what? Yes, it took me 20 minutes. I kid you not. It feels pretty native. And there is a connectability to using user-generated content. I want you to write that down if you don't know what that means. User-generated content, user-generated content. These are people that might use the product, or these are going to be some AI avatars. I'm going to show you that in a minute. All right, so here is the big deal. Once we show you this, then I'll get over to where I go. And typically, if you're watching this on YouTube, then I leave a link to the tools that I use. All right. And I've been over here. This is a bad word, but it's an actual business. It's called WAP.com. Now, over at WAP.com, you got people called clippers. If you never heard that word before, hear it here for the first time. Google it. Use Perplexity or whatever, ChatGPT. I think they might know who it is too, but WAP is a place where you can get clippers. These are just people that come on, take your video and clip them up and then put it out, and they run ads and you pay them. Now, that is a different user-generated content perspective, but it could work. Here we go. One person, direct, one idea, clear message, one question. This is why we use these kind of things. Now, listen, I'm not selling nothing today, right? I'm literally coming, I'm making bank in my bathrobe because, I got the digital assets that are out there doing their thing. Again, I say this from this perspective. These are results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed, or even promised. This is for what I'm telling you is education. Doing this for education purposes, not giving you financial advice. But listen to this. I'm not selling anything. I'm testing something, right? I haven't run the ads on Facebook, the new Andromeda yet. Not yet, right? But I'm leaning toward testing on it heavy. And now I use some very specific tools. I used to go in there and I, do all this stuff myself and then get confused. Now I just got a couple of tools actually, that I use now to go and go, here's my money, go run some ads and give me all the testing and stuff like that. All right. So I use some tools. I'm going to show you those in a minute. But why this works, why the 500 to see if we can make 5,000 works, is oftentimes why these user-generated ads work better and use your money better is because they're different. They're not all polished. It does this thing called pattern interrupt. If you ever seen something on TV and you go, wait, what's that? And it interrupts your pattern of thinking to just kind of like, hey, what's that? That's what that is, right? Radical honesty. Sometimes these ads, get this. I'm going to show you this. When I show you this avatar that I created and I showed my wife, and guess what? I made it talk like me and she was freaked out. She's like, man, why is that man talking like you? Then I did another one where both of us are talking, saying the same thing. Now that's a pattern interrupt. You see that and you go, why are both of them talking? Right? And I'm going to run that ad. I think it's going to freak some people out. I think it's going to mint too. That's what I think. Now, here it is. What I'd measure, not the revenue yet. We want to revenue things like that. How much did it cost to keep people on? 3 seconds. Sometimes people pop on, they see, I don't like that guy. They're off. Or I don't like that ad. I'm off. Hook retention. Did people stay? Click curiosity. Can we engage them? What are they saying about the stuff? That's what we start measuring for. Now, here it is. Before I launch, this is what I'm doing. If I get no signal, because this is real money. Now I'm going to show you I kind of bid on their advertising. I bid on it. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I saw him on TV. I kind of mocked the guy because he wasn't talking right. Then he got people to start, because he was from another spot, right? He wasn't talking right, but they kept working on me. It was like an earwig. So I finally used their platform. And man, what a dismal failure. And it probably failed because I didn't put enough money after it. But the money I did spend for what I got, that was enough. So if I see no signal, I'm out. If I see a weak signal, I might tweak it. With this particular platform that I'm going to be showing you, I got nothing. So I was like, okay, I'm out. Right now, strong signal, we scale. I say if it starts showing you something, you put gas on it. All right, now here it is. I'm not trying to hype you. I'm not claiming no results. I'm saying I'm in a demonstration process. I'm going to be using some tools. I use all kind of different tools for this, right? Sometimes I use ConvertKit. Sometimes I use my System.io. Sometimes I use different tools. You'll see here, right? And I leave people with a whole big old thing of tools so that you can go out there and try stuff, right? Now, what would you spend $500 to learn? What would you spend $500 to learn? Now we know we'll go to class and spend $500 in a college, put some zeros behind that. So that becomes the big question. That's the big question. And I'm asking you that question because we're going to be going into some other stuff. I'm going to show you a campaign that I ran that was, oh my gosh, break my heart failure. And I'm still a little steamy about that. All right, let me show you. All right, so y'all have heard these ads. Have y'all heard these ads? The Vibe ad. Oh, you can put your stuff on TV, man. And I spent just a little money. Watch this. So for my wife's event, Women Who Write, for her event, I spent about $50 a day. I ran it for one day because I thought, well, that's all I need. So I'm out there I just want to be on TV. Just like the guy said, just like they said. Oh my gosh. This lady tells me a story. She says, yeah, you got to, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to show you what she says. Watch this. Look at this. This is what she says. So she comes on and says, hey, Randy, I'm Roma, right? Your customer success story. She said, I'll be your main point of blah. She said, I noticed that you recently launched a few campaigns and ended after running only a short time, right? For the CTV campaigns, we typically, get this, we typically recommend you run them for 2 to 3 weeks. Now, y'all know I got my handy dandy calculator. Let's add that up. So 2 to 3 weeks every day. Let's just say. So we got 21 days, 7 days. Okay, so we got 21 days. 21 days times $50 a day, because that's the minimum. That's $1,050. $1,050. I was like, and I was running multiple ads. I was like, oh man. Now I'm saying that I can get a better result because we've got Facebook Andromeda. And it is giving me hope again for us being able to do things in a very specific way. Now, I can tell you, I think it was ego that had me doing this. And then she says, I'd be happy to walk you through the platform and share a few best practices. The best practice is this. You got to run them, bro. So let's say I did 14 days at $50 a day. 14 times 50. That's $700. Okay. But I wasn't willing to do it then because I just wasn't convinced. Now I might be, but I would do it with this. Look at this. This is going to freak you out. Y'all sit with me, man. This is the guy. I did the video. Let me see if it'll show up. I'm shocked. Honestly, I never thought the things I love doing every day could make me money. I used to think monetizing my passions was just a dream for influencers or content creators. But then Randy showed me the simple way to turn everything I do and love into income. It's not a gimmick. It's real. And now my daily life is paying me back. If you love what you do, Randy's approach can change everything for you too. Okay. What y'all think? In the comments section, you can put down what you want. What do you think about? Now, this is going to be some user-generated content. Well, the user is that guy. And I'm using an avatar. So this is my voice. It's a little freaky. Now watch this one. Oh my gosh. Get ready. The number one thing couples fight over money. But not anymore if we can help it. We want to get you to the love and the money, one course at a time with our tips, tricks, and how-to templates. I promise you, that was not us really talking. That was me using the tool that I could take any image. I could have put your puppy up there and they could have talked. And that thing will start talking. Y'all want me to show you how to do this? Spend $500 with me. I charge that for everything now. I mean, it's not Christmas time anymore. You want to work with me? I charge money. Unless you got the hookup. And I'm not going to tell y'all what the hookup is. Some people out there already know. They already are taking advantage of the hookup because they went to a particular school, or they went to a particular program and they graduated from the program, and now they can. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it like that. All right. So follow me and you'll find out. So all right, that's what I wanted to share with you. There's a couple of other things that we could go over, but being able to see that first, seeing that we need to get our butts out there and start asking a big question. Am I willing to spend $500 to potentially make 5,000? You've already done it if you've gone to school. Okay. All right. Are you willing to go out there and test your products, your services, the stuff that you got? Let's listen to a little music on this one. Are you willing to do it? I think you are. That's my call to you, to get out there and try things. Spend a couple of bucks, right? I'm going to help you. I'll share all the stuff that I know, just like I showed you these apps that I just got done with, right? The apps here. I'm letting you know that I'm going to be your technical advisor. I hope you build the landing pages. I hope you build the sites. I know they got vibe coding tools. I use them all the time too. But people are finding out that the vibe coding tools only go so far. And then to hook them up and connect them and all that stuff, it's like, oh my gosh. They use the old raggedy domain name that they got, and they stay on that land and they can't take the stuff off. I don't do that. I use them. I take it off the land. I put it on my land, and then I let it grow and I let it do what it do. No harm, no foul to the lovables of the world and the emergence of the world. No harm. I use them all. But I want to show you, I'll show you this someday, how to take it off of their land and put it onto yours. We're going to use some of these ad strategies to bring attention to our pages, our websites. Sometimes I sell from a Google document. Yeah. Google document. Yeah, because Google is the website. Now, that's some advanced strategies. I can't rock you with that one. But okay, so hopefully you got a chance to see how we're going to do this stuff. We're going to get out there and start making our ads pop. We're going to use Facebook. We're going to leverage the fact that now we can get our stuff in front of folks. Come back tomorrow. I am always, if you want me to talk about a very specific thing, he says, Randy, I'm really curious about this, then tell me. I probably know about it, got a tool around it, or I can investigate it and I'll do it for you. I might even call you out. I do it all the time. I may call somebody out and says, hey, hey, Chris, this is for you. Chris is my guy over there, man. He's an engineer. He's a brilliant guy. He's got some organizations that he's involved with that do 3D printing, and he's having a ball. Now it is, can we help Chris put his stuff onto a page and get attention to it? That's one of the key considerations. We're going to be continually doing this stuff, y'all. I invite you back. I'm going to be, playing the music here for y'all. Right? So that we can just keep having a ball with this stuff. Y'all see, I'm showing up. I want you to show up too. Any other questions, DM me. Hit me on email. In fact, let me go ahead. I stopped doing this, but I should probably go back. If you want to come over into the community, there's the invite. Your invite's right there. If you want to support what I am doing, come on, let's do it. Let's go ahead and Help your boy out. I want to do this all the time, but I need more coffee. This water ain't cutting it. I see y'all on tomorrow. We're going to be having another one. I'm actually on the hunt for some different tools. I'm going to be using a different tool coming up here pretty soon. I will again. The other tool I had to fire it. It didn't work. It was staticky. It was just too staticky. So I says, I'm sorry, I gotta let y'all go. So I'm gonna be testing out another tool, and then I will, if it's good, then I'm good. If it's not good, it's fire. All right, y'all know how it is. See you tomorrow. Peace.